My Gaming Edge.
What's happening, guys? It's CB with My Gaming Edge. Going to be going over a recent match from ESEA. It was the grand finals for the Open division that we actually casted. It's between King's Crew and Team Bad. It was a pretty interesting match where Team Bad really had the momentum in the first half, and in the start of the second half they were actually up 4-0, and King's Crew had a little spark and came back to make it 4-3 before actually losing what was a really back and forth last round. And so I thought it would be interesting to go over certain situations and sort of discuss what mistakes and successes both teams had, and maybe where nerves came into play a little bit, because obviously this was a pretty big stage. It was the grand finals for the Open division, and we can talk about what ultimately led Team Bad to be your Season 9 Open champions. So let's go ahead, and we're going to cut this into clips because I think the format will work a little better for this. So here we are paused after the first mid-fight. We're paused at 9:11 on the game clock, and I want to talk about the push coming in from King's Crew. They actually were able to secure mid, and this is sort of the stalemate that we've become used to on Badlands, pushing into the Spire Uber versus Uber. And I think that King's Crew made a mistake here, and the reason is that, well, particularly their demo man, You Must Recover, gets a bit overextended, and it causes his medic to pop Uber on him, and then the opposing team, Team Bad, has a really good counter Uber and is able to actually steamroll over them to win the round pretty quickly. So this is after the first mid, and we are going to resume now at 9:11 and take a look at both teams sort of just holding stalemate. And this is sort of a mistake. As I said, You Must Recover, you'll see here, gets a little bit overextended in just a few seconds. Everything else seems pretty standard at this point, but this could be a very big mistake, and it turns out to be for them. As you see, he takes a lot of damage. His medic does save him, which I think was the right choice in this situation, because there was a good amount of damage being put on Team Bad. Unfortunately, as you can see, as we're watching Team Bad just sort of roll through, just due to the fact, guys, that there was an early pop over from King's Crew, and everything just fell apart. And you can see now, You Must Recover, the first casualty, is the first to spawn up now. Everyone else got wiped. But yeah, so I just want to point that out, that something as easy or as little as that, someone getting overextended or someone being out of position, can really cost, if you're playing against a good coordinated team, can really cost you the round. Definitely the push, and what we just saw there. So let's go ahead and move on to our next clip. Alright guys, so here we are shortly after the match. It became 2-0 pretty quickly in favor of Team Bad, and one of the things that we discussed in the cast, which you can find on our Twitch TV stream, and I'll actually probably put the link right under the video, but one of the things we saw interesting about Team Bad was that they were pushing through choke on their initial rollout. So what does this mean? Well, this means a few things. It definitely allows your combo to be less susceptible to medic bombs, meaning you can sort of protect your medic a little more, having both soldiers there a little bit after the enemy team soldier. So if they're going fast and aggressive, there's definitely an opportunity for your team to clean them up pretty quickly. The disadvantage is obviously that your soldiers are sort of, you know, pushed back behind the train, and your medic's definitely not in the fight. So there's some trade-offs involved, but the way that King's Crew was playing, and maybe Team Bad knew this, allowed Team Bad to really be successful with this. And this third mid rollout is really going to showcase what I'm talking about. So right now, we're paused at 9:43, and we're going to see Team Bad rolling out through choke and see how this successfully works for them, cleaning up a soldier right off the bat, and then the rest of the things just sort of fall into place. So let's resume now. As you can see, here they go rolling through. The demo is also back there with them, which is interesting. Both soldiers now coming in from King's crew, and look at this, Team Bad able to sort of just protect their medic, and everyone just swarms around King's crew. It also worked out in Team Bad's favor because the medic and pocket soldier from King's crew elected to go up into their closet, so everyone was sort of on their side, and Team Bad, look at this, was able to wipe the entire team and not lose a single member. So that was really impressive to me, and it allowed them to go on and win this round pretty quickly, making the score 3-0. And Team Bad was looking extremely good in the first half, and the next clip we're going to roll over into the second half and see what happened there. Alright, so here we are in the second half, and the score is actually now 4-0, guys. So Team Bad was able to scoop up the first round of the second half, and this is where King's crew sort of starts to turn the tables. And sometimes when your back is against the wall like this, when you're down 0-4, you sort of realize that let's just play, let's go all out, because chances of us winning are sort of slim. And I think that King's crew started to get that mentality and mindset and really start to bring it back. So right now we're paused at the rollout here when they're down 0-4 at 9:54 on the clock, and we're just gonna see mid start to turn around for King's crew. Let's go ahead and resume right now. And one thing you'll notice at mid is they're able to keep their medic alive really well. The pocket soldier Jinx does a really nice job of that, and you can see that early on the damage being put out from King's crew is just much better than what Team Bad is able to do. And Team Bad actually elects to go choke once again, and it doesn't work out in their favor here. Maybe King's crew realize that, and they sort of keep their medic safe while their scouts and roaming soldier do a nice job. Shade picks the medic there, but just sort of a different team it looks like here at mid, and they're able to completely wipe Team Bad after a little bit of trouble here from D Chow. But Cool B is actually able to stay alive, and if I remember correctly, D Chow finally goes down. It looks like people are really having trouble killing him here. So he sort of distracts, and here comes a soldier actually over onto Cool B, and she's actually forced to pop Uber. So a really big mistake, although they were able to win mid there. Another thing that we noticed in the cast as well was that D Chow stayed alive for way too long, bought the rest of his team a little bit of time, and was able to get in and pop Cool B's Uber. But so far here, this is sort of the spark that's lit under King's crew, and they sort of start to turn things around. And we're going to go ahead and look at the next clip. Alright, so here we are just a little bit later in the round after King's crew is able to take Spire. Both teams have Uber, and this is an interesting spot because I know a lot of teams struggle with pushing into last, how to do it, Uber versus Uber, if there's some secret formula on what you should do, and it really depends on how your team plays. In particular, our team with Mackie, we elect to sort of usually let him bomb in and try to get the force, and if he's not able to get the Uber out, then he maybe goes sniper or heavy or come back something different. It's not really worth it in this day and age of competitive TF2 to sort of just push in Uber versus Uber, because teams have sort of figured out how to defend last really well, although you know, from open to invite, so it goes across the board. But here we have an interesting situation. I think this was sort of a mistake on Team Bad, but we are now paused at 9:48. We're gonna go ahead and resume now, and we can see that Cool B just about to get Uber. Max already has it, and Shade's gonna go in for the Uber pop here shortly. He's just waiting to get buffed up here, and unfortunately he's gonna jump right into the face of a heavy, I believe, so that's not gonna work out for him. So there he goes down, and now Team Bad elects to push out here. I don't think this is the correct decision. It can be a good choice if you're just trying to get them to pop Uber and back up, but Team Bad stays in the fight with their combo a little bit too long, and Shade has already spawned up at this point, and so they've sort of waited a little bit too long to go, but now they're electing to push out, which is going to be pretty interesting here. They do pick Jinx, which now is sort of the opening, and although he is down, this is going to cause them some trouble because Jinx is going to be back in the fight sooner than they realize. And here comes the Uber. Now, the demo man went all the way into lower lobby, so he got overextended a little bit. And the rest of the team sort of stays in the fight. The medic Max is able to make it out, but Aaron and D-Chow both get picked, and now Jinx obviously is already back in the fight. And so this is sort of why pushing Badlands last or pushing out of Badlands last can be really tough. You'll see that Team Bad obviously struggles, and this is where King's Crew gets their first round win, making it 4-1. Eventually, it looks like Team Bad was able to hold off for, you know, just a few seconds here. But the point I'm trying to make is that pushing out of last like that, it can be really risky, even if the opposing team is down 1. And that really applies to any map, especially if you have a large ground to cover to get to the second point, because we know that the forward spawns are so close to that second point that the opposing team will be there quicker than you can sort of expect it. So I thought that was sort of the first real big mistake I saw from Team Bad, and King's Crew, like I said, goes on to win this round. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what happened moving forward in the match. So now we're taking a look at the next round, and actually Team Bad was able to win mid, keep their medic alive, and they're pushing out into yard. And one thing that was impressive from King's Crew throughout the match was their ability to hold last without Uber when Team Bad had it. And this is a situation when they're able to hold the Spire without Uber when Team Bad has it. And they're also down 1 member at this point. Shade was just sniper and he got picked, so they're down a soldier. And we are paused at 9:44. Let's resume now and take a look at exactly how King's Crew is able to hold this. You can see they're up in the bats, the demo and medic with the soldier. And look at the time they have already on Spire. While a soldier gets in their face, Aaron, the pocket soldier for Team Bad, he gets taken down. And now look at this, Tyranny gets behind the medic and forces him to drop Uber while Jinx picks a scout off the Spire with a nice air shot. And so now it's just 2 up for Team Bad, and King's Crew have turned the tides in their favor, and they're able to sort of bring it back, of course, and win this round. But I thought that was a really impressive hold. Of course, the medic dropping Uber was a huge help, but I think everyone did their job really nicely, spread out, focused targets well, and this is where King's Crew sort of starts to turn it around. So we're gonna go ahead and skip a little bit forward once again and see what happens down the road. Alright guys, so skipping a little bit forward in the round here, which this round, after what you just saw with King's Crew defending the Spire, is a really long round. A lot of back and forth happens between these teams, and again, maybe it's the pressure of being the Open Grand Finals, both teams obviously wanting to win extremely bad. And right now we're looking at King's Crew having 6 up, Cool B just about getting Uber here, and Team Bad with their medic down. And we're going to see, if we resume right now, what happens to sort of once again make this round a little bit longer. There goes Aaron, who jumps in and picks Cool B while she's pushing out a choke. A really nice time play from him, and she did not have Uber yet. She was at 95%, and we can see a lot more trading going on. And although we can see King's Crew up on the Spire with their remaining members, Team Bad has their medic up. We'll have about 30% advantage by the time Cool B starts healing here, and we're going to see a little bit more of a stalemate. But this is an important round for both teams, with King's Crew able to sort of make it 4-3 after a really long round. It definitely gives your team momentum, and they definitely had momentum going on here in the second half after they lost the first round. But interesting to note what happens here. So Team Bad has about 35% advantage. It looks like that they elect not to move off this, which I think is a good choice. Unless you can catch the combo really close outside those doors, it's not worth it. We're going to see what happens with King's Crew. We saw Shade going for that Uber Force earlier, which didn't work out. We'll see if he elects to do it again. One thing that I didn't really like what King's Crew was doing was sort of stacking the upper left here in this corridor. I mean, having your soldier, pocket soldier in a demo is fine, but not the roamer. And here, this is again not the best decision going in Uber versus Uber here. they were sort of rushing it. They didn't allow Shade to go in for a play. And as I said earlier, pushing in Uber versus Uber here usually isn't a good decision, just because teams have figured out, like I said, how to defend it very well, and we can see that right there. So now we're sort of at a resetting point. Both teams sort of hanging back. And interesting to note here is that we have Kraka and D Chow both going spy. So, you know, we usually see it on offense, but not too much in defense in this situation. But, you know, maybe D Chow figured they had time, the other team was building. And so we're going to see a big play out of D Chow, which actually opens the door up for Team Bad here, as we're going to switch over to him now. He sort of actually wraps around the battlements here, as you can take a look at him. And he actually picks Cool B before she's able to get medic, or excuse me, Uber, and Kraka goes down as well. So now this sort of opens the door once again for Team Bad, and they start to move out. And I wanted to just sort of go over the rest of this round because it is pretty interesting how things unfold and how it's so back and forth. But now Team Bad pushing out Aspire, they're gonna be able to cap it, and they know there's a scout behind them right now because he was just over at last, so they're sort of forced to back in and look for him. While now King's Crew has the upper hand and people up on Spire, so now they're sort of trying to retake it. But Team Bad, rightfully so, is defending from lower left, and this is sort of a risky defense, having your whole team lower left without Uber. And we can see how Catastrophe goes down, the demo man for Team Bad. And so now we're sitting back at last. But I think Team Bad had a nice re-push out there, and now we're going to have another Uber versus Uber fight. And we'll see if King's Crew makes the same mistake they did. See, this is where Catastrophe's down, and we were in the cast yelling for them to push because, you know, Team Bad's demo was still down. Now they wait and elect to go now, which timing is a little bit off for sure, because by now Catastrophe's up, and you know, they're 6 strong with Uber at that point. So again, it's just an Uber versus Uber fight, which probably shouldn't take place. But King's Crew is able to re-push it, get some nice picks, Tyranny over to Paladin, so that's a soldier down, and we can see the rest of King's Crew doing some nice pressure. And this is sort of a really good play from King's Crew. I like how they kept the pressure up, they backed out, kept their medic safe, but then elected to keep the pressure on from the high ground. It's so important, guys, that you have high ground at pushing this last, because if you don't, you're susceptible to sort of just get killed from spawners and stuff like that. But there you go, King's Crew able to make it 3 for them and 4 for Team Bad, so it's 4-3 in favor of Team Bad. And we're just going to go look forward at the next clip in the last round. Alright, for the last clip, we are paused on the last round, and Team Bad was able to win mid, keep their medic alive, while Cool B died for King's Crew and a lot of the rest of them. So here we are sitting at 9:54 on the game clock. We're taking a look outside of Spire right now. We're going to resume and see that Team Bad is able to have everybody up on Spire with Uber. And this is going to showcase something that we talked about, and I've talked about in this video, how King's Crew is really good at holding last multiple times, with, you know, even when they didn't have Uber. So here, as we can see, that Team Bad is electing to Uber in really early. They take their demo in, and Tyranny goes down. He's trying to reflect his pyro, but watch King's Crew, you must recover, doing some nice work there. And here comes Shade to help out. They're able to actually hold this, which is really impressive, assuming, you know, if they had lost that, that would have been the game. But we're going to end it here, guys. They do end up taking the round, Team Bad that is, but I thought King's Crew really showed what they had. They came back, you know, down 0-4 and had 3 victories, 3-round victories. But Team Bad was the better team ultimately, and I want to congratulate them and say thanks for both teams for putting on a good match. We were a little upset in the beginning, But if you guys have any other questions about this match, I'd be happy to answer for you and sort of analyze the situations. But I hope you like this sort of format, going over a little bit of a different match, not a top invite match, but I thought that some of the plays here were definitely top caliber plays, and want to thank you for watching. This has been CB with MyGamingEdge.com.